Hello, everybody. Welcome back to EPIC.LAN 44 with Intel. I'm joined by Dane. How are you doing, Dane?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. It's nice to have someone who, I'm going to just say it, who knows more about the game than I do. Because I think that's a common theme as I come up and I go, that was a good game, wasn't it? Da, da, da. So I'm happy to have someone with me that knows. Talking about our players, we've got two finalists up on the stage ready to go. They're just prepping themselves. Run me through them.
Right, so we've got Gerald versus Zane here. Gerald has come all the way from Poland. He's an extremely strong player. They're both Protoss players. Obviously, Gerald is ranked one of the top 10 players in Europe. Currently number 6 on the ladder overall, so he's definitely going to be the favorite going into this match. However, Zane is our hometown hero. Very excitingly, this is Zane's first LAN finals, despite always being in the top kind of 5 seeds at every single LAN. This is the first time he's been in the finals, so he's been absolutely on fire this LAN. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this match shapes up, and obviously this is a Protoss versus Protoss, so anything can happen.
Perfect. Well, we'll be watching backstage, but to take us through all the action, we have two wonderful commentators standing by ready to take over. How are we, gents?
We're very good. Thank you very much, Reaper and Dane. We're really pleased to be here, and yeah, as Dane said, a PvP final. It's been a long time since we haven't had Zerg in the final.
Yeah, since EPIC38, when it was another foreigner. So that was when Jumi came and played against Raza in the finals. No Zerg that time.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. It's been a while since we had a ZVZ finals, and I think everyone's going to be seriously missing having
a mirror match. Yeah, absolutely. So I can't wait to get into this one. As Dane said as well, Zane's been playing out of his mind this tournament. Really cool to see him finally make his first grand final in EPIC.LAN. And PvP can go either way. So I don't, as much as Gerald might be the favorite going into this, there's not a foregone conclusion at all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think there's some really interesting strats that we could get out of the matchup. Something really interesting, like proxy play comes up a lot. A lot of the like blink play that we've seen out of Zane has been really cool so far, and then it gets a bit sneakier in the mid game, like DTs and that sort of thing. And,
we love the Invisible Man. We love the Invisible Man. Yeah, absolutely. We have a fantastic crowd here as well. StarCraft community always turns out in force, and plus we have the Polish fans here as well for Gerald himself. So it's really fantastic to see you all here and watching in person at the wonderful Kettle.
Yeah, and also for joining online. We really appreciate all of the views on EPIC.LAN 3, and also they won't be watching this because they're still sticking with the main man, Indy, who's been following like Gerald's journey through the tournament. It's been really exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely pumping the numbers in terms of the people watching more EPIC.LAN goodness. So yeah, can't wait to get into the first game. Do you know what the first map's going to be?
I'm afraid you might have to wait a little bit to get to the first game as we're setting up the players now. The first map is Amygdala. We did a few vetoes, so they didn't want to play Abyssal Reef, Eldorado, or Neo-Violet Square. Don't blame them. Neo-Violet Square is.
It's got a cool name though.
Yeah, but.
And the vaporwave aspect, I don't know. Yeah.
And the little cube blockers in the middle.
I really enjoyed talking about the cube blockers. I think there's something in there, something that can be worked on maybe. I just like the way they look.
Not this series. First Amygdala, second Frostline, King's Cove, number 3, Ley Lines, 4th, 5th Whisper of Gold, and 6th Ultra Love. We're only having 6 maps, and you're going to explain why.
Yes, so an important thing to bear about the format is this was a double elimination bracket. So Gerald has, earned himself a 1-map advantage in the final because he's come all the way through the upper bracket without losing a single game. So he starts 1-0 up in the series, which means at most we will see 6 games played here in this grand final. It's best of 7, technically, but he gets a 1-map advantage. So yeah, Zane going to be fighting an uphill battle against a player that's already very strong and in very good form, right?
Yeah, but that is the benefit that you get from coming through on the upper bracket. We've seen quite a few people go through the lower bracket and do really well. Someone really famous for it is Risky, who's been in the finals a million times. Yeah. And he very often drops the lowest bracket, fights his way through, ends goes to the finals with a deficit, and then comes back anyway. So and it's everything to play for.
Speaking of lower bracket runs as well, Figaro, who Zane had to beat to make it to this grand final, is no stranger to lower bracket runs, having taken down AC as well in a previous EPIC.LAN not too long ago.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And absolutely crazy land that was, where AC came in, the massive underdog, but in the grand final with a map lead. That was a good one. I remember it fondly because it was a Zerg versus Zerg.
Yeah, you love no bias here at all. I'll be repping the Protoss brand, do not worry, people at home. But yeah, while we're here, why don't we talk about this fantastic trophy as well?
Yeah,
it's really nice to get to see it up close.
So shiny.
They let me touch it earlier. I don't think I should have. I kind of feel bad. I feel a bit dirty.
I think you should have rubbed your grimy fingerprints off it.
Yeah, so whoever gets it, there's a little bit of me on there as well, in case you were wondering.
I'm enjoying it though, shiny. And I don't know, this looks like a different size because I think the old ones took exactly 6 Jaeger bombs to fill the top. I don't know, this looks slightly bigger. This might be an 8 Jaeger bomb. performer.
Yeah, Risky is here. Obviously, didn't play in this LAN, but he's a known Jaeger bomb connoisseur. So he would definitely be able to let us know whether it's the right Jaeger bomb capacity in this here trophy. But we'll have to see after the fact, depending on who wins if they get in the Jaegers.
Yeah, exactly right. Maybe Zane will kind of share it amongst the crowd, and we'll get outsourcing.
Sip from the cup,
the
you know,
fountain of youth. There
kind
you
of
go.
bestowed up onto the.
We're having the classic problem that we've been having all weekend, where Zane appears to be offline.
Yeah, he's a special boy. You know, Battle.net treats him differently to everyone else. But we'll get him in the lobby eventually, and we'll be able to get on into game number 1.
Let's see. Just following along what's going on backstage. Let's see.
Exciting stuff happening back here in the land of tech. This final slightly delayed, not entirely our fault, but the Osu guys, we love them. It was really cool having them before us again. Love seeing the Osu guys here at EPIC.LAN. There's so many good communities, not just StarCraft. You know, you've got the CS guys, they're always very loud. Valorant guys, also very loud. And then you have the nice quiet communities like Osu and StarCraft, who are friendly and bubbly and lovely.
Yeah, I'm a bit annoyed at the Osu guys because they kind of took our spot over in like the quieter corner of the arena.
I know.
But listen, summer they won't be here. They've got like a different thing to go to. They're going to be too busy having fun somewhere else. So we'll get our corner back.
Yeah, they're showing us up on numbers, but yeah, we'll be here in force in summer when we'll be able to take back that claim as the peak 1v1 game at EPIC.
Yeah, the most competitive 1v1 game. That's what the GSL strapline is. You ever see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I think we're finally in lobby, so we're hopefully going to throw over to the game.
In just a moment.
Let's click start. Let's do it. Ready?
Do we have permission? Do we have permission?
I'm giving permission. They've said they're ready.
They've all keeping us on our toes.
What's the deal? Let's go.
I hear the beeping noise. The beeping noise means the game is about to start, and we're going to get on to game number. Are we going to call it game number 2? Are we going to agree to disagree?
I'll probably forget and call it number 1.
All right.
And then later number 3 when I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. But we are finally loading into Amygdala. Really excited to get into this grand final at long last and see this awesome PvP action here at EPIC44 with Intel. Let's get into the game. The crowd goes wild. Would you like to take it away and introduce our players, please?
I would absolutely love to. Crowd here, please make some noise for the home crowd favorite, ? Playing in the green, it's Zane.
I hear a lot of noise. I hear a lot of UK StarCraft 2 fans really enjoying seeing Zane here in this final. But there are some other fans in the crowd who'll be very excited to see this man down in the bottom left-hand corner in the blue trunks. Representing Poland, he is Gerald. An equally loud cheer.
I think they were equally loud cheers there.
That is awesome.
I think we don't have a favorite.
Balanced as all things should be as we get into game number 1. For the benefit of the players, we're not going to talk too specifically about what's going on in the early game, just in case there's any sound leakage. We've got a big stage and some loudspeakers, so we're going to take it easy in the early game. But yeah, what else can we talk about with these players so far in the tournament?
It's funny, isn't it? Because normally we talk about like the map and that sort of thing, but I have to admit I don't know the map super well, and I
Does
don't
this
know
map
how
have any interesting features like tire marks or something that we can look at for like about 5 to 10 minutes? Although to be fair, in a PvP, 5 to 10 minutes can be. Oh, it's got tentacles.
These
Okay,
are the coolest part of this map. So these are kind of a newer addition to the map, like the map editor that's allowed to go into real life maps, along with like the speed shrines or like healing shrines allowed now, I think. But these are rocks that like they're made of creep, so they die over time. So like,
makes sense.
I forget the exact time. I want to say it's like 9.5 minutes, 8.5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
They'll clear out, and the middle of the map becomes more open.
That is interesting. Yeah, but I guess the players can still attack them to get through early if they want to, and then kind of break those barriers down and get into their opponent's face in the early game.
Yeah, other than that, it's looking pretty normal, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good StarCraft 2 action so far. I was going to say, like, we need to stall for some time, 5 to 10 minutes. Don't want to give away any early tech choices or any early decisions that might have been made. However, PvP, as we said, a very volatile matchup, and getting to 5 or 10 minutes in a game can sometimes be challenging. So, whilst we said, obviously, you know, Geralt's come into the series with the 1-0 lead, and if the games are really short, we could absolutely blast through the series. Obviously, you and I, bias, we want to see Game 7. You know, obviously, we want to see the game go all the way. And so we're hoping for some awesome StarCraft here in the final.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Geralt blocking Zane's probe in. Actually, the sentry spawning just in time. This is nice. Normally, the probe will go and like put a pylon in the low ground, like sometimes blocking the nexus, because then you can see the units that come out. In PvP, it's the first 2 units that matter a lot, and then next 2 after that. So exactly like Geralt's done here, he now sees and knows. Okay, Stalker opener. Geralt and Zane knows as well. It's Stalker sentry opener on the other side. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that pans out and plays into the rest of the game. I don't know what Geralt's following up with. I think it's Sentry. and nothing else. And then Zane is going Stalker, Stalker, and another one. So we'll see how that kind of moves to the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Zane's gas is going somewhere else.
Yeah, some interesting stuff being shown here by our observer. Oh, and there we go. Geralt has finally found it. The secret robo hidden in the center of the map. We'll see how he's going to react to this now that he knows there's likely going to be some Immortals coming his way very soon.
Yeah, I mean, scouting that kind of late, so the Immortal was already on the field. That's kind of bad, but I think Geralt kind of had some inkling of that already because he must have scouted the late second pylon. So a lot of force fields to not quite catch that Stalker. Zane is going to need to get on top of this battery before it finishes. Obviously slightly weaker now that there's no overcharge, but the battery itself is slightly tankier.
Oh, the weakened Stalker out in the front does get picked off, but Gerald's Stalker is also very low. Now it's just the sentries left and the Immortal's still alive.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of damage here. Probes are going to have to be pulled.
Block these units out. Zane does pull back to the ramp so that these probes can't get great surround, though they end up kind of probe drilling through and getting really good surface area. But pulling workers off the line this early, and with the hot pickup from the Warp Prism is really good. Hallucinated Stalkers here made by the Sentry to kind of soak some of the damage, but Zane hopefully will see through that.
Really good micro so far as well. Pulling back that Stalker. It's still alive. I wonder how many kills it has now, but it's been doing a really good job. It's on like 1 hit point at most. He's going to pull back for the moment.
4 hit points, that's like 1 hit away from death. But it does look like Geralt is going to look to stabilize. He's going to hardwall the high ground. He's got his own rover coming behind this, so we'll see. It looks good though, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to contest the Nexus going down. That's a nice spot for Zane.
Yeah, the hallucinated Stalkers do not have long to live in the world, but Zane hasn't fallen for them so far. A second Immortal now arriving on the low ground. Those Shades are not going to get into the main though.
I don't know that Zane is happy with just this amount of damage. That's my only concern. I think he really needs to push for more here. Just taking the Nexus isn't maybe enough, and he probably doesn't want to like make a Nexus of his own and try and macro out without a really massive advantage. It doesn't look like he's going to get another gateway here, and that does open the main and allow the Adept Shade to get through.
Yeah, that's going to provide a big opportunity here to get in and do more damage. Another big force field, but now the Warp Prism comes into play, allowing units to be helicoptered down without taking too much damage.
Yeah, this force field was also slightly misplaced, which you saw Geralt do in his game against Raza as well, so this seems to be like a long-term thing. Zane putting a lot of hurt down onto this other gateway now. Losing that really cuts into Geralt's production, which is
How many gateways does Geralt have left now? Is it 1 or 2?
This is the one.
Down to one gateway. This is going to be really strong from Zane now. He has a chance to push and potentially win this game. Geralt does have his own Immortal now, though.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of Sentry energy here, so Zane is going to pick him over. Losing the Warp Prism is huge. I don't think there was much in it, but it's still not good because it means that most of these units are stuck down the ramp, and Geralt's done a really good job of actually partitioning this army off, cutting those units down, and now even trapping some in those force fields there so he can kill them off. That's unfortunate for Zane.
Zane going to try and use the Shades to get one last bit of damage on the Immortal itself. However, is going to be trapped. 2 of the Shades do complete, and he's going to try and kill as many probes as he can.
Yeah, Geralt a little bit slow on the uptake on that one. Actually pulling probes to deal with it. I don't like this response at all because he's going to lose a lot here. Actually taking the, going down in workers, Zane taking the worker lead for the first time in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the worker lead, but he lost that army advantage. He's lost all the pressure, and without that Warp Prism, he wasn't able to warp in and reinforce anymore. The push is dead, and he's going to lose his robo as a result.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because Geralt obviously has one of his own. He is going to go into the main again, though. A little bit sneaky, a little bit cheeky here. I'm a big fan of that move.
Interestingly, Zane is not giving up on the attack. He's brought 2 Adepts back with the new Warp Prism into the main. Let's see how much damage those can get done whilst Geralt's out on the map.
Yeah, it's just even more worker kills, and Geralt really doesn't have the economy for it. I'd love to see how many have gone down total this game as soon as this last Adept gets cleaned up. I think it must be like 15 workers, probably.
Yeah, it seems like Geralt can't make up his mind whether to commit and go out on the map and try and push. That's a good guess. That's a good guess, to be fair. I respect it.
Prism getting recalled out. Does just barely survive. Literally 1 hit away.
Very nice there for Zane.
Easy business.
Would have been a real shame to lose a second Warp Prism in this game, especially now that... Has he built the... replaced the Robo so far?
Yeah, I think it's just coming online now.
Yeah, there we go. That will help a lot. All right, we stabilized for a second. We can all take a breath. We can relax. I was really enjoying the reactions from the crowd as that Immortal went down. There was a lot of hype. It's really adding a lot to the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah, let's see though. Geralt is going to be the one to go aggressive now. And now the shoes on the foot, he's like, you saw how I held it. How I held it. Let's see how you hold it.
Yeah, roles have been reversed. Zane going to have to do his best Geralt impression to hold this one.
He is got up to a good sentry count. Let's see how he does.
Zane is a bit of a sentry specialist, so I kind of have faith that he'll do quite well. Unfortunately, that pylon, on the other hand, was very poorly placed, and he's lost 2 of his gateways immediately in this fight.
Yeah,
Lots of shield
actually made a spare pylon because he knew that this exact thing could happen. Zane not like having the foresight to do that means that these gates are going to be unpowered for a bit. There's so many units here for Geralt. Loads of force fields coming through. I don't know that they're all good. I don't really know what it means. But we'll see how this one pans out. Shield batteries have just run out of energy. I don't know if there's a recharge available, and I'm sure that would be a really good use for Zane. Ooh, Debs in the base as well. It's a nice move, but I see Protoss do this so often where they warp in the opponent's base while their own base is like dying. I don't know, that's always the play.
It's kind of worked. Gerald has actually backed up. I mean, the probes are being pulled at this point, and he's really committed to this attack. He really wants to get Gerald out of his face.
Yeah, I don't love it. There's still so many immortals, and they can be juggled so well by the warp prism here.
I think Zane's just going. His
he's
probes
really
are still
chasing.
going across the map.
But that's because he's getting immortals dropped in his own face. That's the juggling I'm talking about, and you just get so much value out of the immortals. I think he's going to go all the way to the main. Look how far Zane's pros have been pulled.
I don't know, he felt like a misclick. They kind of just kept going and never got pulled back.
The Void Ray! There's nothing that shoots up. The hero Void Ray is out. Let's see. This is an absolute banger of a first game. This is a close one. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, for a 1-base-v-1 base game, this has gone a lot of different places already.
To be fair, Geralt did try to play Minecraft.
Oh yeah, all right. we're not naming names here. We're not attributing blame to anyone. But I am very happy to see this
I'm
kind of
going to
action.
blame the obs for not pressing D. I'm going to call it out. Thank you. I love you. Blink coming through.
You know, you could have done that without calling him out on stream.
No,
There's
I
a
can't
button
think
for
of
that.
smart
We have a
way to
button for that now.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Speaking of the odds, we didn't say EXO doing
Yeah,
an
Exo
absolutely
Lightning is
fantastic
sitting
job.
backstage. Can we have some noise for Exo Lightning?
Yeah, a lot of love in the crowd for EXO's hard work here at
Always doing a
EPIC.LAN.
good job of observing and casting and sleeping without an airbed.
Yeah, really sorry for that guy. Oh, a lot of probes being picked off here. A nice force field on the ramp zones him out. The Void Ray getting even more damage done.
Yeah, this is really rough for Geralt. I just don't know where his army is. I don't see any units. They must be
They're chilling.
holding the main ones
Big
again.
chillin'.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's no sentries here, so I don't know who that favours. At this stage in the game, I don't know that the sentry is the most important thing. He is hiding these stalkers pretty well, I think. Yeah, Zane gets a good scout now and he instantly cancels the shade. He's like, yeah, no thanks.
Hang on a minute. I don't need to attack into this.
Yeah, I think he can still keep the pressure on, and obviously with the sentry lead, he obviously gets more of that ramp control.
Yep.
But we'll see how kind of Geralt aims to deal with that.
Yeah, definitely getting the contain off. Not wanting to overextend with this Observer because it could provide really good value in the upcoming engagement. Stalker's going to poke down the ramp and change their mind and go back up again. Observer of his own now out for Geralt as well.
Look how mined up the main is. 9 out of 8. It's like no one's got any money, no one's got any anywhere to put the workers, and they haven't got any workers. Nice force fields, but the Stalker stays alive. Nerf the shield battery.
Ooh, the Void Ray goes down very quickly. Well sniped from the Stalkers there from Gerald.
Yeah, this is really rough now for Zane. I think with the blink done and the prism starts to really come under threat.
He's got to be careful here. He's got the worker advantage. But
Even probes pulled with
oh,
this?
the probes are here, so he doesn't have a worker advantage. They're fighting.
I mean, there's nowhere for them to mine, so might as well pull them. Let's go.
That is absolutely true. We're entering the real late stage of the game here, and it's all going to come down to who can micro their army better, who can get the most value out of their units.
Big blink and the snipe on the warp prism. Decent force fields, only gets a single Stalker behind this. Is a little bit rough. I think the mobility of the Stalkers and the utility there is just so high, and you know, all this time that Zane's chasing the Stalkers, even with his probes on the other side of the map, Geralt is like sitting in his main thinking like, okay, good, there's less pressure on me now. I think this is only good. Zane's actually realizing that the Stalkers are actually quicker than my army, so he's going to run all the way to my base, and I can't catch up.
I guess he could recall if they too commit to an attack on his base. Has he completely walled in at this point, or has he left the ramp open over in Zane's
So
base?
I think he's now going to realize the recall, sorry.
He's going to have to do the recall, right? The Stalkers are in space. Yeah, here comes the recall. The rest of the armor coming back, and Geralt has done a good job of keeping Zane out of his face for now.
Yeah, very, very close on this. Little force field on the goodbye.
Cannot afford to lose this Void Ray. Thankfully, Blink was on cooldown, otherwise that was a very dead Void Ray.
Yeah, they're so squishy, they just get picked off, but you know, they're so good in these sorts of spots where it's really low eco.
Resources lost are so even right now between these two. This Void Ray cannot afford to die. It's the last one left. It's his last hope in
Nice
some
pullback
capacity.
micro from Zane, and these Blink Stalkers are really good at like sniping, and then blinking away without ever losing them. And so many of these are so low HP.
So low. Got to get the shields back up on a lot of these really low health ones. But here come the reinforcements, and bang, the Void Ray's dead.
Good force field to start the fight off, forcing a blink out of Geralt, but now I just don't know that Zane can ever catch up. This arm's just so like immobile and slow. But even if there was a prism with this, I think it would just get like picked away at and sniped and out microed.
We can see Gerald is feeling a lot more confident in his state in this game. What can Zane pull out of the bag to try and get back into it? Oh, those force fields are huge.
Force fields are big, and they're going to keep coming. Another one's coming over the ramp, and that's it for game number 2.
I like that you stuck with 2. You thought about it for a second. You're like, is it game 1? Is it game 2? But you've committed. And speaking of 2, that's now a 2-0 lead for Gerald in this series.
Yeah, it's first to 4 in this best of 7, so half of the way there. I mean, everything's still to play for Zane. I forgot what number 2 is already.
I'm sure we'll see it in just a second.
Line.
Frostline is going to be map number 2. Obviously, it's a mirror match, so it's not really going to be in favour of anyone unless they happen to have favourites. So I don't think we can quite decide who picked this one. But what we can say is that Zane...
We don't know the order of the picks.
No, we don't know the order of the picks and bans, but what we can say is that Zane really needs a win. You know, if you go down 3-0 in the series, that's a reverse sweep against Gerald. It's going to be a hell of a challenge to pull that off. Now, not impossible. Zane did reverse sweep in the lower bracket final. I love this split shot of the 2 players.
There. I did see.
Yeah.
You know, they're rubbing the eyes.
It's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. Coming through. Zane had him on the ropes there a little bit.
Yeah,
much
maybe
closer than he was maybe expecting.
Exactly. Yeah, he probably didn't. Well, wasn't happy with how close that game ended up being, even though he did manage to clutch up in the end. And we are into game number 2. 3. Damn it. Yeah, it's my fault. You can stick with the higher numbers. I'll do the lower numbers, and we'll just confuse all the viewers, and then no one will watch.
Okay, you're going to intro this player.
All right, I'll introduce this player. Starting in the top right-hand corner, UK StarCraft 2's final hope in EPIC44 with Intel. In the green trunks, he is Zane. Big cheer that time, really big cheer for Zane. People want to see the comeback start to happen.
And someone I consider an honorary member of the UK SC2 community.
Absolutely.
If he stays much longer, he'll get a passport. Playing in the red, hailing from Poland for Streamer Zone, up 2-0 in this best of 7, it's Gerald.
Still a lot of respect for Gerald in the crowd as we get on into this match. I'm going to see another volatile game. It's PvP, so we expect it.
I was thinking it's amazing how volatile mirrors always are. Like ZVZ, we're always into like quick link Bane, and it's all like intense micro. And then Terran, it's always like Reapers and Hellions and.
Why do you think that is? Right, that's really interesting to analyze, right? There's no necessary reason that the game should be quicker just because you're playing someone who's the same race as you. Like you still have different build paths you can go down, right? That you can one build will work better against another build. So why do we end up in these volatile states? Do you think?
Is it because like you're basically racing and like whoever's quicker off the mark gets units out quicker, and then whoever's slower. And
I think it might be a psychological thing as well, right? Like if you're coming up against a different race, you're like, oh, there's differences between us. There are things that I think are better for me against you that don't work in the opposite direction. So I'm going to try and do things that disadvantage you. Whereas in a mirror matchup, it's just as you said, it's a race. It's just like, who can make the most stuff
fast. Get the most evil unit out as quickly as I possibly can.
Well, who can do the most degenerate thing as quickly as possible?
Yeah, that's why
really
Reapers and Banelings.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Dark Templar.
DTs.
Yeah, DTs are pretty degenerate.
Good units. Okay, so it was Stalk Sentry last game. Stalker.
That was interesting.
This game.
Zane changed his mind. Yeah, he's changed his mind for a second there.
Yeah, Geralt also mixing it up this game.
Yeah. Geralt Stalkers are a lot. They're not actually. I was going to say they're a lot further along, but they're not really.
Well, they are, because the other one is the second.
Oh, yes. The production queue is a lie. Don't believe it's lies.
Because that bar's going to go, and then the other one will be like halfway along.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Would you look at that? So it'll be really interesting to see this game if both players manage to expand. I think that's all I really want to know. Will we get to more than one base?
I think it's unlikely, but it'd be interesting to see. A mined out like map scenario like we had in Figaro versus Geralt would be huge.
And there we have it, Gerald. Not one to be tricked again. He's seen this one before, and he's going to try and stop that Immortal from coming out at all this time.
Yeah, I mean, last game he scouted it kind of late. This game he's onto it much, much quicker. What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
Yeah, close enough.
Right?
We'll ship it. And that Immortal has unfortunately been stopped at the final hurdle. That's going to really hurt Zane here. Not only is he not getting his Immortal, he's probably losing the Robo.
Yeah, I think it's a macro build. It's just light pressure. Just ignore it and expand behind and hope for the best.
Have you got Plan C? Because Plan B just went out the window.
Yeah, and Plan C is going to be to put a...
What? Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let's rewind. Yeah, and Geralt's got a probe looking at that.
Yeah. I mean, the surprise kind of gets lost when the opponent's just like fully looking at your tech building. But still nice to see. I don't know where this will go, but it could be somewhere cool. Stalker's moving around the map at the moment. I don't know. Nothing's really happened. No one's lost anything really.
Is he trying to do it again?
Listen, it'll work one day.
something madness, something repeating the same actions over and over again. Well, this is different. We'll see how this one pans out. And maybe we'll see some big balls coming in the near future, but well, Zane has to survive first for that to happen. It's 6 Stalkers against 4. He's got 2 at his home base trying to clean up that pylon so he could potentially pretend to expand one day, but I don't think we're going to be seeing an expansion in this game anytime soon.
It's going to be tricky because the green Stalkers have taken just a little bit too much poke, so like in a straight-up fight, I really think Geralt would win that.
Yep.
They're going to have to play around the ramp a little bit.
It's worth noting that the fight isn't going to be straight up for much longer either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I haven't seen a use for this Robo Bait yet. Was it fake? Was it bait? I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. It's chilling right now. It's not really doing much for Zane, but the Immortals, on the other hand, will do a lot for him. But we saw last game how the mobility of the army is equally as important as the potency.
So
Immortals might be really good against Stalkers, but if they perhaps move a bit faster than the other Stalkers for some unknown reason, then it's going to be difficult for that Immortal to really get anything done.
You're absolutely right, and especially at these really high levels where the multitasking and splitting your army up and using microing on 2 different fronts is just so much more like impactful at these really high levels.
Yeah. This is looking like a bit of bait at the moment from Geralt. He's kind of not showing his hand. He's not showing his full hand, and he's letting Zane really overextend across the map.
Yeah, I mean, and he's happy just to like waste time. He's walking now away from his base, so Zane has to back now, and I have to chase, and we're actually going.
But now Zane is
further away.
separated from safety, right?
Yeah.
His route to home now has a bunch of angry Stalkers in the way.
Yeah, and in fact, the Stalkers can go into the main and start, trying to pick off things there, like sniping a pylon will be really irritating.
Yeah.
Getting some worker kills, maybe a free Immortal here. Okay, we're cooking.
There's some more things going on.
Yeah. Good
Zane,
micro from both sides so far, like Zane not losing anything, but Geralt like similarly not losing anything.
yeah, Geralt was forced to show his hand, use the blink, but got out of there keeping everything alive, which is obviously what he wanted.
He's in a really nice spot here, I feel. He's not up a huge number of workers, but like in a mirror match, you need to be up like 2 or 3 to have a really like meaningful improvement. That's nice.
That could work out. I don't know. There's some shenanigans going on, as you would expect in a pre-VP, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, but for Geralt, a pretty solid game so far. 2 bases. Not too bad.
The game is like surprisingly even, other than the base advantage, obviously. It'll be interesting to see what Zane can get done, however, with his aggression.
Is going to finally like meander his way across the map to Geralt's base. Quick like preemptive force fields coming down
Defensive
to Geralt.
force fields. And blinking on into the main.
Yeah, I mean this pylon isn't going to depower those gates for long because he's also full walled with some more pylons, so we'll see how long those last.
Damn, he's got a lot of sentry.
Into the sentries. There's no Guardian Shield here, which would be good. A little bit of a move command from Geralt could cost him big here, but on the other side, I think there's just so much here, especially with the shield batteries. Geralt's looking like he's cooking in this game.
Geralt's just destroying the gateway straight up this time, not even bothering to depower them. He just wants them gone. Once those warp-ins gone. Is there a warp prism with this? There isn't, is there?
I think it.
Oh,
yeah,
it's quite
too
far away.
but it's really weak as well, so we can't really juggle with it
Nope.
and like pseudo blink with that warp prism.
Yeah.
It's tough here.
Zane's own blink was too far away. He's identified it himself, and he's going to call it GG's in game number, checks notes, 3, as Gerald takes a 3-game lead in this grand final, looking to go back-to-back. EPIC43 champion, is he going to become our EPIC44 champion?
It's looking likely. It's going to be rough from Zane now. He's got to win the next 4 without dropping another map, and that's a tall ask.
As I said, we saw in the lower bracket grand final, Zane can dig deep. He can find that within him. He just needs a little bit of momentum. He kind of went... What's that?
I'm trying to go into my mind palace and figure out what game number 3 is. Is it King's Cove?
You mean game number 4?
Is it King's Cove?
You're reading it off the screen.
I didn't.
I believe you. We all believe you. While you're using your Nostradamus-based skills,
Yes.
can you predict what's going to happen in this game?
2012, the world will end.
Wait, what?
This game, I have no idea. I think proxy play is looking like the flavor of the month.
Yep.
I don't know that
Zane
it's
has proxy
working.
robot 2 times in a row.
Yeah, I don't know if it's working.
I don't want him to do it again.
So, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it
Stargate,
is broke, fix
right?
it. Yeah. Proxy something. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a waste of not putting.
No one's going to expand.
Yeah,
It's silly.
it's a waste to put all of your pylons in your base. Like, you only need 1. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I'd like to cannon rush.
You would like to cannon rush?
I-
You would like to cannon rush right now? You're going to go take over Zane's PC?
If I off race, like, I do cannon rush, but
Yeah.
not well.
And you complain about Protosses, but when you play Protoss, you cannon rush.
Yeah, I complain about littering, but I'm still gonna like throw garbage out my car window.
That's not a normal thing to say.
Don't do
Please
that.
don't say that. Please don't do that. Kids at home, do not litter. But yeah, we're going to get on to game number 4 here on King's Cove. This is match point for Gerald. There's a lot on the line. There's that EPIC.LAN trophy that we talked about earlier that's right in front of us.
It's so shiny.
But most importantly, we're now in the game. Would you like to take it away with our first player?
Changing colour to the lucky blue, spawning in the top left of King's Cove, Ladder Edition, playing for no one but himself. It's Zane.
The crowd is still wild for and this is a joke, the younger of the two Secker brothers. We'll move on to the bottom right-hand corner and look at our red Protoss, one map away from back-to-back EPIC.LAN wins. Representing Poland, he is Gerald.
This may be the last game of this LAN, Brad.
That would be really sad.
Well, but then we
It'll be
get to go
sad
play
in one
board
way.
games
It'll be
and
sad.
hang out.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's really cool. But it'll be really sad that it's the last game. So I want to watch more StarCraft. I've been having a great time because the games so far have been really good, and I think it's been a really, really cool LAN. We've had a hell of a top 8.
I just realised.
Yeah.
I missed the ice cream van. It's in like 9 to 10.
There's a coffee van gone as well.
Too late in the day for
No, it's
coffee.
too late for the day for the coffee, but it's a good coffee van.
Yeah, so I think now's a good time to talk about LAN. It's been a really
Yes.
good event.
Yeah.
The food's been excellent.
Yes.
That's really improved in like recent LANs. It's
The
really
last
good.
like year of LANs, the food level up has been kind of insane.
We've
Yeah.
been building back better. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I've had a really good time this event, and it's been like a smaller one. I think that's fair to say. Like October was massive. I think we're
For
over like
StarCraft.
30 something people, and then this one we're down to like 14. But it's friendly faces. Everyone's good fun.
Good
friendly
number of
banter.
spectators, good number of people in the crowd cheering on our players. Really glad to see you all here. And yeah, if
If you're
you are
local
in
to
the UK,
Kettering at all, and
Yeah.
who isn't?
or if you're from Poland,
Or
come
if
down
you
to
wanna fly in,
Kettering,
Yeah, absolutely fly in.
UK's finest Kettering, and come see some awesome StarCraft 2 action at EPIC.LAN.
It's going to be pretty same again. I want to know. I want to see the first 2 units again, and then I can pretend to know what that means. I think we had like Sentry Stalker, Stalker, and then this game, something else.
Yep. We'll.
Still don't know what that
Oh,
means.
hang on. Wait. Things are happening. It's annoying not being able to talk about things, but everyone watching can see what's happening. Our wonderful observer is making sure everyone knows what's going on. We're
Yeah,
going to see a full wall here from Geralt. Does this give anything away?
Maybe a little bit, but I feel like you would do that if you were trying to like freak them out in another way as well, right?
True, it could be a fake, right? It's a double bluff, right? You could be double bluffing, be like, oh, I'm doing something, so I'm gonna full wall in. Also, it could just be an opportunity thing. Your probe was there, you see the probe, you think, I'll just do this for the sake
Like,
of it.
it's 25 minerals to deny, so
Yeah.
it's not a huge
Yeah,
investment.
it's not a huge investment, as you said.
Now both players are like chasing the probes around the map. It's
Yep.
Benny Hill music playing.
Absolutely. And we see what the tech choice is going to be from Gerald there. It'll be interesting to see what he can get done with that.
Yeah, we try not to shout about it too loud just because we haven't got perfect soundproofing here on the stage.
No, but we will soon.
We will soon.
Big shout out to Rainbow Six Siege for forcing EPIC.LAN to buy actual ear defenders with noise cancelling. Hopefully, the next EPIC.LAN StarCraft, we're going to have the ability to talk freely about everything that's going on without having to worry about shenanigans and spoiling stuff for the players. To be honest, though, having spoken many times to Risky playing in these finals, he said that generally you're too in the zone to even notice anything. The audio actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
And we just like to do it just to be polite, right?
I just have like memories of an MLG, I think, where someone was like mothership rushing and then
Yeah.
the whole crowd started shouting mothership, and then like that kind of gave the game away a little bit, you know?
Yeah, we're not at the MLG levels. We don't have the soundproof booths on the stage. That would be kind of amazing. The game gets cancelled and he's going to let Zane in.
Yeah, I mean, I saw he was making a shield battery. I guess it was in the mineral line to stop adepts or oracles. That's bad from
Wow.
Zane, not noticing that at all. So he does get a lot of his probes frozen. But you know what's worse than getting them frozen? Is getting them killed. And a lot of probes pulled off the line here for Gerald.
Yeah, both players losing a lot of mining time, but Gerald losing 6 probes. He's going to get his natural cancelled, and that Immortal still alive with some good drop micro. It's happened again.
Oh, can we see the income? It must be like nearly 0 for Zane. That's so rough. I mean, in this game, it's going to start bouncing over the force field.
Can't lose the
Gerald's
Immortal,
so
the
good at
Immortal.
sniping
No,
the Warp Prism. It's absolutely insane. But there is now no more force field here for Gerald.
But look at that shield battery. It's already got half energy, and it could be charged up as well.
Yeah, we'll see now what's going on with these gates. Hopefully Zane can depower them. Another.
We're going to need to get a count going. It's 3.
That's really rough for Zane. It's really going to slow down his reinforcements. Gerald's micro is so strong here, picking off even more stalkers. Now
Zane,
with a Void Ray coming through.
yeah, Zane getting a taste of his own medicine, getting to see what it feels like to be shot by a Void Ray when you don't have
another
that
ward
much
just
that can
finished.
shoot up. That's 4.
Zane needs to warp in a Stalker at home, but you can tell he just really doesn't want to because it will slow down his push so much. I mean, Geralt even like doubling up on the pylons at the front, so he's like, you're definitely not depowering these gates ever. And, like he knows that's such a big risk and just taking steps to.
We can't see the overall income, but you can see the current income, and you can see Zane down at only 200 minerals income to 800 of Geralt. It's costing him hugely every time this happens.
Yeah, and he's finally
Pulling this time, only going to trigger it with 1.
He's still getting 3 frozen, it's not the best. You see he's on the other side of the map warping in sentries because he just has like a million gas because his mineral income's been so poor.
This is what Zane has been preparing for his entire life. I don't know if people know, but Zane absolutely loves a sentry. Will often go all sentry in certain matchups. And yeah, we'll see what he's learned in his many, many hours spent playing with the little Orby spellcasters.
I quite like them. They're cool units.
I think they're a really, really cool little design, aren't they?
Let's see what Zane can get done with.
What do you reckon the orb contains?
Pure energy.
Oh, I was going to go with milk.
And hopes and dreams. And
Yeah.
semi-skimmed crepe.
Currently, they contain Zane's hopes and dreams in this game, in
I
this
think that's
series.
What's in the Oracle. Yeah. Kill the ward, kill the ward, kill the ward. No.
Can you can't do that with.
No.
That didn't
It's
quite
not
work
enough
out.
DPS.
He got the Stalker as
Even
well.
gets the Stalker, and he's energy recharged from the Oracle, so there's going to be another ward coming through. He's, at this high level, he's so good at like timing these out, so he's always hitting them like right as one ends, the next one starts. And
We're now
they're
looking at
perma-frozen.
100 mineral income to 1,000.
It's not what you want to be for Zane in this game. Another ward? Yeah.
I've actually lost count. We have
I've
6
completely
or
lost count.
7.
I was just thinking that. I think that's 8.
8?
I think that might be number 8. Zane is building for the front here and keeping the pressure hard on Geralt, but honestly, Geralt in this spot is like, it's fine, I'll just chill.
Yeah, he's
Build
not
up.
got too much to worry about. This Oracle is being an absolute pest. Is that another one, or is that the same one again? Well, this is going to be another one if it wasn't. Mistimed it slightly. He could have got them to overlap.
You've
If
got
it,
the Stalker again.
yeah.
Zane pushing in at the front, so obviously isn't looking at his base, but with the 2 Void Rays here, there's not many units and not a lot of mineral units, so like his Stalker count's really low. He's going to have to walk in more sentries once again.
Yep.
Going to start putting pressure onto the gateway, but I think the dance here is starting to like heavily favour Geralt. And at some point, 3 Void Rays, kill the 3 Stalkers, now there's nothing that shoots up.
Yeah,
It's a rough spot to be
we're
in.
at I mean, sentries shoot up, but they got tickle beams.
They
They don't have
tickle
real
up,
guns.
yeah.
You have to have a lot of sentries to kill anything meaningful. The Stalker's going to get frozen for a 782nd time. And, right, so we have a sweepstake.
I think we can clip that.
Yeah?
I'll say it now. Clip that. It's going to be a long
Clip that
clip,
bad
but
boy.
Clip that.
I mean, yeah, it's looking more and more rough as the series goes on. The Void Ray is actually feeling so confident that they can
So
go
many
across the
force
map
fields.
and just kill everything, because there's one Stalker in that base, and 90% of the time it's in a stasis ward.
Yeah, that's true. That is the laziest
And
Stalker.
here comes the Void Rays. They're going to destroy the battery. Everything's being recooled, and they're going to have to run away, actually.
Yeah, I still don't think there's enough here for Zane. And you just think about how much space this gives Geralt. Like, all of the units just got recalled, so Geralt's now like, okay, I can expand. I can move all my units across.
And
He's
Geralt-
even, poking with his Void Rays, getting good damage still.
They're taking a lot, and you know what? They're taking a lot of damage still there. He can't be too ballsy. 4 Stalkers and a bunch of sentries do eventually kill 3 Void Rays.
Yeah, they're just so squishy, but for Zane, it's really not the spot he wanted to be in.
We're back here again. The Robo out on the map is meeting its maker, being returned back to Aya or the scrapyard or wherever it came from.
Antigua Shipyard.
What a
And
map.
expanding behind this is Geralt. Zane actually flanking with the sentries, so he's trying to...
We were talking earlier
Trap
about
these
ways
Void
we
Rays
could
into
spice up EPIC.LAN. What if we did like an old map pool fun tournament? That could be pretty sick.
They're already putting old maps back in the pool.
true,
If we
yeah.
wait long enough, it will all be old maps again. So yeah, we'll see. No, it could be good. Yeah, what's your favourite old map? You're going to say Ohana, I know you will.
You know me too well. You know me far too well.
Mine might be... Do you
Did
remember
you-
Frost? I think Frost was good.
Oh, that's not ringing any bells. But what is ringing bells is the death bells coming in here as these Void Rays come and destroy all of the Stalkers.
Yeah.
Actually, they're not going to be able to. They're going to get 2 of them.
Void
and
Rays
then
is so much worse in this
wow.
matchup.
Wow. Okay, finally the sentries come back. The moment we were all waiting for, a sentry tickling that Void Ray to death. Gerald is super big chilling right now, got his second base up, and is just completely containing Zane on 1 base.
Even putting a ward on the natural, this is like doubly annoying because you can't take the base, and when you send the probe to take it, it blocks your own base.
Yeah, it's like a pylon block that you did to yourself.
This-
Big cheer in the crowd as the Oracle gets wrecked.
Pretty sure it was a 0-kill Oracle, and yet it was somehow the most valuable Oracle of all time. it does go down.
A zero-color
And that-
local that's generated somewhere in the region of like 10,000 minerals of the value.
That's a victory to celebrate. On the other hand, Zane, you know, now that Geralt knows that Zane's pushing across the map, so he's going to sit here and snipe even as the Wampins
Yes!
come in.
That-
One Void Ray
That
down.
Stalker managed to shoot one shot before it died and it killed a Void Ray. It's got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think Zane's going to go for his Hail Mary, and we'll see how that goes for him.
Yep.
Not holding my breath, and I don't think you should be either.
No, I'm afraid not. It's looking like a pretty rough push, but it's the final map of this series potentially, and Zane's going to have to pull one out the bag here to stay in this tournament.
Potentially the final map of the whole day. We'll see how it goes for him.
Oh, that's that shade finish. Gets a probe. Big value.
So worth.
Yep. And it's fine, he sees that Gerald is comfortably on 2 base, got that fully mining there. No gas just yet, but he doesn't really need it to make a bunch of zealots to go ruin Zane's day.
Yeah, he still has twice Zane's mineral income. Once again, that's really rough.
No
This is
stasis
not
ward
what you
needed
want
for
in
that
the
one
game.
this time. And the Void Ray is chunking through yet more Protoss goodness here. Going to destroy the shield battery another time.
Yeah, I don't know what Zane can do here, so this is it. This is
potentially the last engagement of EPIC44. The hallucinated Colossus coming in as well. It's just going to chill in the back. It's not even going to pretend it's real. Stasis wards going off left and right. He's done actually a pretty good job of triggering them one at a time.
the 4 Adepts going down is like a big portion of his army.
Yep.
Pull the boys, let's go all in. You know, we've seen Raza do it 100 times. Now it's Zane's turn to pull the boys in
The
the
Saka
EPIC
brothers
final.
on the same wavelength here, pulling the boys for one final push. The Zane pushes into the natural here, getting absolutely wrecked on pretty much every front. The Colossi is finally helping.
Well, fake helping, because the doesn't actually do any damage.
Yeah, but it's really intimidating.
These Adepts were basically force fields when they were caught in the state.
GG, well played. Congratulations from Zane as Gerald takes back-to-back EPIC.LAN championships.
There we go. We're
Players,
gonna see.
yeah.
Handshake, hug, who knows? We cut away just in time. I think he might have hit him. We're going to go over to the stage for your hosts, Ruby Steve and Dane, back once again. I think they're going to have a little chat, but that's it from the casters. That's us. We're out. We're good. We're done. Thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, what an amazing event.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, gents. It was a really great final to watch backstage. Listening to you try to explain to me stuff and going, colours, yes, I see all the colours. I think I'll hand it over to you. Have a quick chat with our champion, obviously, and catch up with them. There you go, Gerald.
Thank you very much.
All right, Gerald, amazing series, first of all, let me just say. It's really good to see you play again. I really enjoyed it. How are you feeling about the games overall?
I think, I was enjoying a lot the series. It was really fun for me. I was thinking I could lose every single game. Yeah, but I won, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I heard a great quote from Benny in the crowd there. He said, "Oh man, I've been sleeping on PvP. This is fire." We really enjoyed that. I do have a couple questions for you, just tactically. Did you expect a proxy robo every game?
I was expecting this like one game, maybe two. Yeah, so like game number 3, I was like, okay, if he is going to fake proxy robo for sure. Yes. Yeah.
I saw what the production queue was, and I thought it was a fake. So I expected that as well. In the first game, it was really close when Zane was pushing up your ramp. Obviously, you got to the point where you hallucinated stalkers. Talk me through your thought process, if you had a thought process in terms of like how close you were to losing that game.
To be honest, I was like, I wanted to leave the game after I lost this unit low ground, yeah, and then he just moved on my ramp. But I was like, okay, walkers are pretty good against low numbers of Protoss units, so maybe I can hold a little bit longer. And maybe later I will make one base disruptors and come back, but yeah, I was lucky with this Warp Priest mistake he did.
Yeah, I could tell. There was a huge sigh of relief, I think, probably, from when you caught the Warp Prism. My only other question was, I noticed that when you're defending, even when it's a very close defense, you seem to always manage to get a counterattack, splitting off the Stalkers, splitting off the Void Rays. At what point, is there like a trigger at your point in your head where you kind of know when it's time and how many units to send over?
With Oracle it's pretty easy because you have one Oracle and it's just better to harass than to defend. But later, I was like counting how many times my Sati is frozen his props, yeah. So I was expecting he is going to have like, I would say, I don't know, 4, 5, maybe 6 Stalkers. So I can just send these 2, 3 Void Rays across the map and stuff like that. It's mostly about when he should switch, expound, or or how much minerals he has to invest in army. Yeah? It's just like that.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Thank you. And only one more question. Do you have anything that you want to shout out to all your fans in Poland and around the world?
Okay, but I'm going to say it in Polish, okay?
That's great.
So, dziękuję wszystkim za wsparcie i za oglądanie tego finału. Oczywiście follow Indie StarCraft, no i wszystkiego najlepszego, Igor. Mam nadzieję, że obyło się bez wiadra dzisiaj.
All right. Thank you very much. And I think I speak for our community where we say we're so happy to have you here, and thank you for showing us such great games. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was a fantastic event, and yeah, I was really enjoying this. Thank you.
Brilliant.
We'll exchange hands. There you go. Take that. Get ready for your lift. If you want to go right into the center for me. Everyone ready? Joe, should we have a round of applause and a drum roll, or? Oh, cheers, guys. Thanks. Well done. Thank you very much. Well, that will wrap it up for us for today at EPIC44. Back tomorrow morning for Valorant at 10 a.m. and then, touch wood, if everything runs smoothly, CS by about 1 o'clock. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining us. We'll catch you all tomorrow and have a great rest of your evening.